First, we're going to get a feel for their sheer numbers. Then, we'll zoom in to tour the factory itself. After that, we'll see how they actually make energy, uncover their shocking origin story, and finally, see how they all work together as this one big, dynamic team.
All right, let's dive right into part 1, meeting the mitochondrion. To really get why they're so important, you first have to wrap your head around the insane scale of this inner universe.
Okay, so here's the textbook definition. But the only word you really need to focus on is ATP. Think of ATP as your body's universal currency. It's the little energy dollar that pays for everything, every muscle twitch, every nerve firing, everything. And mitochondria? They're the mint.
Just take a look at this number. That is 10 quadrillion. It's a number that kind of breaks your brain, right? But that's the estimated number of mitochondria humming away inside the average person right this very second. And if that number is too abstract, check this out. It means these tiny power plants make up about 10% of your body weight. So, if you weigh 150 pounds, a full 15 pounds of you is just mitochondria. They're not just some small part of you. In a very real sense, they are you.
Okay, so we've got quadrillions of them. But how are they so ridiculously good at their job? For that, we need to zoom way, way in and take a tour of the factory floor. Let's look at their anatomy. It's really like a perfectly engineered facility. You have the outer membrane, which is basically the security fence. Then there's the inner membrane, and this is where all the action is. It's the main assembly line. Notice how it's all folded up? Those folds are called cristae, and it's a genius move to cram the maximum amount of work surface into a tiny space. And finally, you have the matrix, the innermost part. That's the fuel processing center.
Now that we've seen the layout, let's watch the production line in action. Let's see how all these parts work together in this beautiful, precise dance to create that all-important cellular cache, ATP.
Okay, so first, the food you eat gets broken down into fuel inside the matrix. Then, this is the cool part. A series of proteins on that folded inner membrane start passing high-energy electrons down a line, like a microscopic bucket brigade. This creates an energy charge that, in the final step, powers an incredible little molecular machine that spins like a turbine, literally cranking out ATP molecule after ATP molecule.
The sheer scale of this is just staggering. As you're sitting here listening to my voice, this is happening inside you at a rate that is almost impossible to imagine. It is the constant, silent hum of life itself.
But what they do is only half the story. Where they came from, well, that's where things get really wild. This is a story that changes how you look at all complex life. It's not a story about competition. It's the story of life's greatest merger.
The amazing biologist Lynn Margulis said it best. Life did not take over the globe by combat, but by networking. She championed this revolutionary idea called endosymbiosis, which turned our origin story completely on its head.
So the theory goes something like this. About 2 billion years ago, a larger, simple cell engulfed a smaller, free-living bacterium. But, and this is the crucial part, instead of eating it, they struck a deal. The bacterium got a safe place to live with a steady food supply, and in return, it used oxygen to pump out massive amounts of energy for its host. Over millions and millions of years, that bacterium became the mitochondria.
And you can see the transformation right here. But the most stunning piece of evidence, the smoking gun, is that your mitochondria still have their very own unique DNA, completely separate from the DNA in your cell's nucleus. It's a genetic ghost, a direct inheritance from its ancient free-swimming ancestor. Isn't that incredible?
So this brings us to our last section. Let's zoom back out and see how these ancient partners are doing today. Because they don't act as lonely individuals, they form a dynamic, interconnected team.
Scientists call this whole population the chondriome, and you shouldn't picture them as little beans just floating around. A better image is a city's power grid, a fluid, interconnected web where everyone is constantly communicating. And this network is amazingly adaptive. They can literally merge together to share parts, or split apart to rush to an area that needs more power. They're in constant contact with the cell's main control center, the nucleus, telling it what they need. They are constantly adapting to your body's demands, whether you're exercising or fighting off a bug. And here's why all this matters to you. Your health, how much energy you have, even the process of aging itself, it's all directly linked to how well this 2-billion-year-old network is functioning. Keeping this internal power grid healthy is fundamental to keeping you healthy. So, I'll leave you with this thought to chew on.
If we are powered by ancient organisms living symbiotically inside us, then what are we, really? We're not just single beings. We're walking, talking ecosystems, a beautiful collaboration billions of years in the making. It kind of reframes what it even means to be me or you. Thanks for watching.